Hello everyone. Today we're going to be using science, data, and our opinion, which will be stated as fact, to rank every single Mass Effect species. Let us begin with the Krogan. Alright guys, where do we start with the Krogan? I'm thinking
A
easy.
tier.
Yeah, A tier indeed. Neil?
I would say either A or S because they had to have
They
a
can't be
whole.
S because they
Why
don't
not?
have spaceships.
Also don't have
But they
waifus.
steal other spaceships.
They don't do a very good
And
job of that
you
either.
telling me Eve is not waifu tier? Come on
No.
now.
Not even close. Don't even try
Come on.
that.
Yeah, in order to be an S rank, you have to have
Mommy
waifus.
priestess. Come on now.
Mommy priestess, try harder.
I'm very concerned about what your search history looks like now, Neil.
Okay, A tier, whatever.
All right, next up, Asari. I'm thinking
uh,
S tier.
yes, who doesn't
mean,
want an
if you're
entire
gonna- if
species
you're-
of strippers?
Their strippers or
If you're-
commandos. That makes them
Uh,
awesome by default.
oh man, where's that chick
I
at?
mean,
I was in a sorry
complete
commando
cougar
once.
bait race, but yeah, sure, why not? Put him up there.
Okay, good. I'm liking how much you guys are
I
agreeing
don't
with.
have any good disputes about it.
Okay.
Easy.
Batarians.
These are unfortunately easy. They belong in like F tier because nobody likes
Well, you know what? Just for Batarians, we're gonna
creatures.
fix this super trash. There we
You could
go.
also call it rig a what's it called?
Like
Relay to explode tier.
the hegemony. What are they? They're space fascists, right?
I don't know.
Space slavers more.
I don't understand the entirety hierarchy of their government, but they're disgusting.
I imagine the ugliest looking one is in charge. It's the only way that their species can function, from what I can understand.
How can you tell them apart? They all are equally ugly.
Exactly. That's why they're so shit flinging.
Uh,
Hanar.
our hyper religious jellyfish.
I'm
put them in
thinking
B tier
C
for the
tier.
meme. What?
Name me
Nah.
a single interesting Hanar character.
Blasto.
Blast.
I like your crutch has to be a movie character inside of the universe.
What do you mean? That's
He's one of the
perfect.
most memorable side plots, like in the whole game.
And they all
Well-
have those weird names that are like similar to like I don't know, like Native American names, like I forget what they are, but like it's literally like enkindled
Like kinda
in
spiritual
furnace or some
names.
crap.
All right,
Uh,
since
I
I'm
agree,
outvoted,
B
we'll put
tier.
a B tier. Collectors, I'm thinking easy A tier. They were a great villain species.
Yeah, but they were very
Eh.
one-dimensional.
They're okay. They're just bug people.
All right, then
Like,
do we
I
put?
think Protheans are much better.
All right, so
Yeah.
we putting him at the king of B tier then?
No,
King?
I'd put them lower B tier.
B.
Yeah, put them lower B tier.
All right. Wow. Okay. I got outvoted on this one. Drell.
C.
Yeah, I wouldn't
They're-
argue with that.
The only good Drell is Thane, bro. Like
Well, yeah,
first
but-
of all.
But you could.
And-
Here's the thing. You can say there's only a good Drell is Thane, but you can't name a single good Hanar besides a character that appears in a side plot.
Sure, that's not a fair argument though, because their names are literally 5 words put together.
Here, let me tell you this, Eli. This is why the Drell
I
are C
could-
tier. They rely all on the Hanar for their subsistence.
Exactly.
That's not their
They
fault.
don't
Their
even-
planet blew
They
up on
have
their
their
own.
own planet.
Yes, it is. If they are not good enough to keep their own planet, like, come on.
And
Okay.
here's one. Harriet from Harriet's Emporium in Mass Effect 1. That's a fucking Hanar name. Shut the fuck up.
I
Move
can't. I can't believe this bullshit. All right. We got Elcor. I think they're above Hanar. They're far more unique and fun.
on. I agree.
I would also agree. I think they would be a potential S tier had we ever seen one in actual combat.
I can agree with that.
One is
That would've
quite
been so
sad
cool.
today.
This one is
Visible
screaming in
confusion.
rage.
I love those guys. They're great.
This one is delighted to see your presence.
All right. The only issue we can have with these guys, what was it, Ket again, right?
Yeah.
The only thing we could really debate is if they're shittier than Batarians.
Yes, they are, because
I would agree.
they're a copy of another species done worse.
I don't even
They're
say
not
they're.
even original.
I'd argue they're not. You're gonna be like they're copies off of the Reapers, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't even argue they're copies of the Reapers. They're like if the Reapers and the Hanar had some evil baby and that was them who popped out.
why Hanar?
The entire religious aspect.
Yeah, you can see that. Nah, super trash.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really agree with that, but either way, yeah, they belong at the bottom of the barrel.
I do not. I don't feel comfortable. The fact that the Batarians are up here.
Yes, I mean
least
it's
the
still
Batarians
they're
are the good
still in
games.
super trash tier, but the only difference is like they feel unique.
Unique with heavy air quotes.
I mean, within the universe of the game.
I'd argue that the Protheans, my boy Javik here, proving his do the exact same stuff as the Batarians, except way cooler and far more charismatically.
Which puts them in A tier, yeah.
Exactly.
Easy.
Batarians unique. Those words don't belong together. They even have 4 eyes. Look, Batarians have 4 eyes.
I
Protheans
think
have
they
4
even
eyes.
look cooler than the Protheans. Or not, wait, not Protheans.
Batarians.
Collectors.
Well, they're the same
I'm talking
thing.
about collectors. Well, again, but I think
No,
they
collectors
look cooler.
look badass. Bro.
I know.
That chitinous armor, dude. Nah, you can't disrespect them like
Yeah,
that.
the collectors are pure soul.
You want to redo the collector's placement then?
No, they're
No.
fine.
Just,
Alright.
we're just talking about aesthetics
Just
there.
aesthetics, yeah. I
All
gotcha.
right. Does anyone remember these guys?
The
Leviathans?
Leviathans.
I'm thinking we put them in
Barely.
trash
I
tier.
put them in C tier personally, just
Yeah.
entirely because the mission that they were involved in was really fun.
But they feel so ham-fisted in the
Yep.
end of Mass Effect 3 as DLC. It's like they should have.
Yeah.
Agree. That's why they're
I
in
agree,
C.
but that's why they're in C tier.
I wish we never found out the origins of the Reapers, kept them more mysterious. Revealing too much
I
was
mean,
a
I
mistake.
wouldn't have minded if they had more time to. If it if it wasn't DLC. 2, if it was better integrated into the game as a whole. Even if it was
Yeah.
only in Mass Effect 3, they could have done a better job of integrating them into the story
Yeah.
without making it feel the way that it did.
Like they could have shown like them creating like the AI intelligence that's in the Citadel or whatever.
I still
They
want to know
could've
how
done-
underwater
absolutely.
species
They
even
could have
built
tied
anything.
that in.
I don't think that they are. I
reasons.
don't think they're stuck underwater. I think they're hiding there because they can.
If you say so. All right, Geth. I'm thinking S tier, despite the lack of waifus.
Legion's a waifu, right?
Legion is not a waifu. He's a husbando, and
Hey, there's
I
1,000
don't know.
programs on Legion.
Technically, Legion doesn't have a gender. Come on now.
Oh my God, very
Wait, does that
technically-
make him a
wait,
femboy?
no, he's trans, bro, because he identifies as they them.
That's not trans. That's something else.
No, that is trans. He's a they them, bro. He's queer.
Yeah, very queer. Well,
Yeah,
No,
very
because
gender
like he
fluid,
literally
gender
is
fluid.
he is a unique Geth platform that hosts thousands of Geth subroutines. He literally is a compilation of Geth. He is a they them.
yes,
Yeah,
we.
put him in S tier.
Okay, we're putting the. I like how we're talking
I
about
don't know
Legion.
if they're S tier though.
I would say
Like,
S tier story reasons.
Exactly.
I'd say they're like high A tier personally.
Here's the
because
thing.
outside of Legion, they don't really have soul.
I disagree. Here. Like, think about it like this. That entire plot twist with Legions, like, oh yeah, you didn't fight the actual Geth, you fought, like, the heretics. And then that entire, like, Legion's loyalty quest was pretty freaking awesome. It showed off a lot of good lore. Like, really expanded on the entire
Yeah.
Quarry thing. They had, like, one quest dedicated to them,
Well,
and they massively
I'll-
expanded the lore.
I'll acquiesce because it's not Legion specific. It's just him. He's just the conduit in which we get the information. I'll let that slide. Yeah.
All right, Tyrions. I'm thinking bottom of A tier.
I'm thinking
Uh,
B
I am
at
too.
best.
You guys, okay, so we'll put them at King
They're-
of B?
Yeah, they're just generic warmongers, bro.
They're,
Nah,
I wouldn't
they're
say
space
warmongers,
police.
but
they could have gone
Yeah.
more in depth with it, but as like a warrior race or whatever, like the warrior arm of the.
they're
Uh,
just
what is
like
it?
what is
Citadel?
that, like an autocracy, right?
No, they have a primarchy, don't they? The
Mm.
hierarchy, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Tyrion hierarchy. I don't know.
Yeah,
the
I'm
Tyrions
not
are cool.
a fan. I mean,
They're okay.
I mean,
don't know,
I'm the
but-
sole Tyrion defender here, but I'll put it like this: there are very
Their best
few
quality
awful.
Is that they have Garrus.
True.
Sure, but I mean, like they have some. There's some cool characters that happen to be Tyrion. Like I do like. I wish they would have expanded more on Nihilus. I liked Darren, and of course Garrus is. I mean, I don't. That's for another day. But outside of those characters, and I guess maybe the Primarch in Mass Effect 3, they're they're just like generic people. They don't feel special. They don't do anything special.
They don't feel
Nothing.
special as a culture either.
Yeah, they just feel like, okay, yeah, these are the guys that like guns.
And they're like a little
That's
bit
it.
more uptight than humans, but that's about it.
Yeah. And what is the recurring joke? Oh, what does a Tyrion stand so straight? He's got a stick up his ass. Like,
Nice one, Joker.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm maybe
they're
the
meh.
biggest Tyrion simp here, but the I just like their entire concept. I mean, sure they're like boring space police, but yeah, screw it. I'll acquiesce. I'll even be the king of B tier. I'd argue that they are definitely far more interesting than the Elcor and the Hanar and the collectors.
Or, definitely not more interesting than the collectors, to be honest with you. There's a case for more interesting than, I don't know, maybe the Hanar, but I think just the nature of the Elcor is fucking hype.
Okay, then what about you, Neil? Tell me, where do you think the we'll start with you know what, we'll reorganize them at the end. We'll come back to to make sure that where who's the king of what
Uh,
place. I'm thinking B tier.
Corians, I'm thinking C tier.
I'm
I don't.
thinking B or A. I like the Quarries a lot.
I like the Corians. I don't respect the fact that they made a race of machine slaves and then got BTFO'd by them.
I know, kind of humiliating
That's
that you
pathetic.
lost.
That's true.
So we'll put them at the
Although
bottom of B.
it's it's kind of funny. So like we were talking about the drill earlier, like at least someone accepted the drill. No one really accepted the
Well,
Quarries.
it's their fault for having a weak ass immune system.
It's well.
Well,
if you
they
think
could have
about
they
it,
could have they could have
could've-
terraformed any other planet and got some assistance. Maybe that. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I don't think they would have gotten assistance because they broke galactic law and they weren't supposed to be creating AI. But they tried to
That's true.
subvert the law by saying it's not true AI, but it came to true AI. So
Not bueno for
chickens
them.
come home to roost.
I just think their race is really good for storytelling.
I think
Like,
yeah,
It's
it's
cliche.
an interesting race.
I don't
Like
think it's cliche.
I wouldn't argue cliche either, but like it's an interesting like guess dynamic within their race, but just the fact that they got BTFO'd by their own creations, pathetic.
All right, Reapers. I'm thinking S
Um,
tier.
Eh,
There's
See, here's my thing.
yeah.
If we were just talking about Sovereign, I would have said S tier. But Reapers as a whole,
Okay, so let me state my
I'll
defense.
put them. I'd go with A tier.
Okay, let me put my defense. You're 100% correct. Sovereign set the bar high for how badass a single Reaper should be. But he was like, he nailed the cosmic core so well with his badass speech. Like, then they were never really able to really capture it after Mass Effect 1. But I would argue their presence throughout all three games was still awesome, especially at the beginning of Mass Effect 3, where you're like, oh my god, we lost all contact with the fleet near the Soul Relay. Oh my god, they're already on the planet kicking our ass.
You know, and here's the thing: is that's great and all, but uh, here's, and I'm actually gonna kind of disagree with you here. Uh, while I liked, and I guess kind of disagree with myself now that I think about it, but like while I liked, I think Sovereign did a great job. His speech was fantastic. He was imposing, menacing, great. I think the fact that Harbinger's weird because in Mass Effect 2 he plays a very hands-on slash off role, and that he's in direct command of the collectors at pretty much all times, and then he also assuming direct control of this form to ruin your day, which is also great and fun. Um, but it's just like they did all of that to like create his like persona, and then they didn't do anything with it in Mass Effect 3.
Well,
Again,
yeah.
that's
fucking
just
EA.
yeah, exactly. That's more of an EA's fault than we can really blame the Reapers, because had
I know, but they suffer as a result. Is all
True,
I'm
but
Let
they
me
still
chime in
had-
here. They don't have any waifus,
Shut
which was
up.
apparently in your list for Asari.
I hate you.
he has a
No,
point.
I
I'd
mean,
put a-
sorry,
I'd
you're
put
not
him in
staying
A
at the
tier.
top of S tier.
Well-
I'll tell you that right now.
All right, we'll put him in A
You know,
tier.
it's kind of a cool concept, robots building and taking over people's bodies, but
Liquefying
much
them,
the
turning
extent
them
of it.
into bioorganic matter to fuel more of them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great villains, but again, as a race, I don't think they're all that.
All right, so are we putting them in the? Where are we putting them in A tier?
Just anywhere for now. Well,
All right.
like I said, we'll rearrange
We'll go
afterwards.
back.
All right, Solarians. I'm thinking C
Solarians.
tier.
Gotta disagree with that one.
They're very
No, I like
mid. The bug people aren't very interesting.
I'd put
Morden
them-
can't carry this
Well,
race.
they're amphibious people.
I would put them above Tyrion's any day. So
I agree.
at the very least B tier.
Wow. Okay, I got outvoted on this one. I have no. There's only like 2 cool Solarians.
I think them being like short-lived but like hyperactive and very science-oriented is really cool.
Yeah, it
That
makes
in and
them
of
unique
itself.
and speaking to them and all sorts
And
of other things.
not to mention they're a play on that OG Gray Man, like original like sci-fi thing, which
Yeah.
is also cool.
All right.
I could go through some examples when we come back to that.
Yeah,
But
their tech's pretty good. They did the genophage. They're pretty good.
They had a good lore impact. Okay, you're convincing me. I still think Tyrions are better, but we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. All right, Yogg. I'm thinking C tier on these guys. Where do you guys want to place them? We don't know
Yeah,
enough
C tier.
about them.
Remember these things existed.
you only see 2 Yogg throughout like the entirety of the series, and one of them is the Shadow Broker, the other one's in a cage in Mass Effect 3 on Surkesh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
You don't have much interaction, and I wish we would have had more, to be honest, because the fact that one of them like grew to a level of intelligence where he could be the Shadow Broker was fucking sick.
I
But-
agree.
I mean, it's so
They have potential.
yeah,
They're like if Mass Effect 4 comes out and they like say, "Oh, the Yogg actually became spacefaring and joined the galactic community," I would like to know more about them.
it's just so weird that the only 2 like the only 2 that we see are polar opposites in terms of overall like intelligence.
All right.
Like one of them's literally a feral creature in a cage, and then the other one's like wearing a fucking suit.
Oh, yeah, you can even you can see the little suit on him.
But yeah,
I agree with C tier. I'd put them at the bottom of C tier though.
Nah, because they have potential to get, especially when Mass Effect 4 coming
you can't
out.
say about their potential.
What about you?
I-
You know they're not going to put the Yogg in Mass Effect.
I
4.
would put them below Drell, but above the Leviathans.
I can agree with that.
All right, cool.
Vorcha,
Um,
I'm thinking C tier.
I'm thinking B tier. I love the Vorcha. And again, this is one of those things I wish we'd have got more on. But like I think they're really cool in the fact that they're they're literally like fucking cockroach people. That they're hyper resilient, hyper resistant, but very short lived. Well, I don't know that
I agree.
cockroaches are short lived, but
They are.
yeah, I think they're really, really interesting that way, and I think that they didn't get enough time to maximize their potential. But just from what we got, especially in just in Mass Effect 2, the fact that like there's this whole gang of just Krogan and Vorcha, and they all have like regenerating health. I thought that was sick.
The only reason I would put them in C tier is just purely because we don't have enough of them, and also they're just meat shields for the Krogan in Mass Effect 2. That seems to be their only purpose and why they were added in the game.
Also, the implication when you run into them at the vents in Mass Effect 2 on Omega, where they're like, yeah, we'll put the plague in the vents, which, I mean, the fact that they're immune to a plague that can kill almost anything other than humans is also crazy. But
Yeah.
and
Honestly-
they're like working with the collectors on that. So
Yeah,
Again.
honestly, they're kind of like a better Batarian.
That's why I also put them in C tier. They're not going in D tier. There's some things I can say nice about them, unlike these 2 fuckers.
Yeah, I'm fine with C tier.
fine.
All right, Volus.
I don't respect them.
He's a biotic god, though.
The memes cannot save a
The
species.
Biotic God is the only Volus I respect.
Yeah, they're
Corlac's
boring.
alright, but he's he's.
They are literally the epitome of backstory race. They're like the Drell in that aspect, but they've been in 3 games. They're just in the backstory for another species. All they exist to do is bankroll the Turians to protect them.
pretty much. They're not worth.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those ones that could be expanded, but
It would need
I
a
don't
book.
think there's not enough.
It would
to
be
expand
interesting
there,
to see
really.
what they look like underneath their suits.
That's
I mean,
true.
I guess. But to be honest, there's not really much that you could expand that would make them more interesting.
I don't know. Maybe
I
we can learn
disagree.
about several different banking clans. Like,
Banking clan.
I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
pretty much like that thing from Star Wars. But yeah, that's basically what they serve.
I mean, like I
Like
guess
you
like
could have
some
like kind of a
political
shadow
landscape.
broker kind of thing where like they back up like a big mercenary group or something.
That would be neat.
Like you could find out that they were like in charge of those like what are those 3 mercenary groups on Omega or whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
different
they're
gangs.
Yeah, that could have
in
been something
charge of
cool, but
those.
they didn't do that.
All right,
But
time for the next species, guys. All right, is there anyone who can actually say anything, opposing humans going into S tier, the king of S tier?
They got they're overhyped, dude. They literally I would put them in
disagree.
A tier. I think it's ridiculous that within the time of what was it like 50 years they supplanted their I guess technically depending on how the options you choose they can supplant the entire council.
Listen, Splash.
That's correct. That's correct.
That just shows you that they're literally the main character
built different,
species.
okay.
Exactly. Every
Yeah.
other galaxy just needs to accept that
Dude,
humanity's
stop.
supremacy.
No, look, I'm a humanity fuck yeah guy, but like you're not gonna sit here and tell me they just woke up and chose violence and won. Like,
Yes,
that doesn't make any sense, bro.
they
No,
told
get outta
they
here.
looked at the galaxy
They
and told it to
BTFO'd the combined forces of other species. No.
listen.
I also would have to say they're S tier just because they reached a level of technology that the other races had like Kickstarters, like with Prothean tech.
They
and
had
humanity
Kickstarter
didn't.
too. What do you mean?
Yeah, they had
They
the thing
didn't.
on Mars.
The
Oh
Mars
wait, I
archives.
forgot about that. But the Mars archives are like one thing, but did that actually like affect their tech?
Yes.
Yes. That's literally
didn't
what
know
they
that.
use to get them to where they are. Not to mention the MacGuffin, the magical MacGuffin for, Mass
Oh wait,
Effect 3,
that's
the
in the.
Crucible.
Yeah, you're right. That's like the original starting crawl for Mass Effect 1, isn't it? Is that they found the Prothean thing on Mars?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back.
I would like there's so it's so ham-fisted in there. Like it's not fair.
You're
It
right. It
really
isn't fair. This is a human galaxy, and these other species are just living
Shut-
in it.
I don't know. They belong in A tier, bro.
Neil, you're the deciding vote. S or A?
You know what? The other races don't have a Cerberus, dude.
This is true.
I gotta go with S.
There we go. And that's it, boys and girls.
Just
That's
the
a
other day
definitive
you were
list.
shitting all over
The def-
Cerberus. You hate the Cerberus.
Cerberus is pretty tight.
All right. Now,
What? Eli, you all. Oh my god, I swear to god. Literally always complaining about the incompetence of Cerberus, and now you're gonna use them as a benefit in your argument?
yes.
Oh my. Whatever. Get
All
outta
right.
here.
Let's rate now on the S tier. We're putting naturally humans will be the top of S tier, but who's better,
What?
Asari or Geth?
Yeah, they're easily better than Asari.
I think Asari are better. Neil, tiebreaker.
I gotta go with sorry.
All right.
We're just trolling here. That's what's
Nah. I'm sorry.
What
You're
did
just
the
wrong.
Asari do at all besides
Biotics are
create
cooler than-
monsters?
I think biotics are cool.
I like
And they're
magic.
Useless. Their Asari commandos get clapped at every front, bro. Have you ever seen an Asari commando in combat? Yeah, I BTFO'd them when I went and beat the crap out of Matriarch Venezia.
Guess what? We have like
Also,
3
they
Asari
got
commandos.
BTFO'd on their own planet by the Reapers, just like everybody else.
Listen.
Turns out those biotics don't mean shit. Not
They-
to mention they
Yes,
make one of the
completely
biggest body horror
BTFO'd
creatures.
by the Reapers too.
Everyone got bodied by the
Yes,
Reapers.
I know they did.
Actually, the only
I
Tyrions
don't
hold
agree
up.
with the humans being up there either. Remember?
We got Zerg rushed. There's a difference. The Reapers
They
knew.
all got Zerg rushed.
No. Reapers and Reapers knew the prime species and had to go for the
Reapers-
biggest threat, which is
they did a
us.
simultaneous attack on all of the home planets.
I'm certain more Reapers were on Earth than anywhere else. They knew the sheer potential of the threat they faced.
I agree, and they also went after Eden Prime first
Mm-hmm.
with the Geth and the Reaper husks.
More proof. The Reapers even knew before they even got into the galaxy. All right, A tier. Who's the king of A tier? I'm thinking Krogan.
I still say Krogan.
Yeah, I think the Reapers
Are
still
Reapers cooler than the
the
Protheans?
Protheans.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we're putting Reapers second. Now, who is the king of B tier? I argue it would be the collectors.
I mean, mine would be Quarians.
No.
I know you guys won't agree with that.
Yep.
Wow, this is so weird. We're all on a different page. I was gonna say Solarians. I
My
think
second was Solarians.
I think the Solarians deserve it. They're literally like the brains behind the Citadel species. They created the genophage. They uplifted the Krogan to fight the Rachni. I mean, like they're literally doing like America, where they create problems and then fix their own problems that create more problems, and they fix those too. Kind of
Counterpoint.
sick.
If there's
Counterpoint.
anything like Cerberus in another species, it would be the Solarians with the STG
And
stuff.
not to
Hey,
mention,
Counterpoint, guys, real
uh,
quick. I like to point out that that the Asari are the most advanced technologically in the Citadel races.
Yeah, only because they had the thing on their home planet.
Doesn't matter,
but
best
they
girls.
It doesn't matter because
No.
that's well, first of all, it's not really a counterpoint because they're not even in the same bracket. Second of
Yeah.
all, despite the fact that they have the best technology, they don't share it with anybody, and they still get BTFO, and they still
True.
defer to the Solarians for their technological expertise. Really doesn't matter.
All right, let's go back. Who should we put as second place? Maybe that is, or no, wait. You said you agreed with Splash on putting the Solarians at S tier. I mean, at the top, right?
Yeah.
All right, who's second place?
Oh, collectors.
All right, I agree with that.
That's fine.
Third place. I would actually be willing to put the Quarians here.
I mean, we're
Because I
getting into
wanted
the point where it doesn't really matter all that much, but
I disagree.
sure.
All right.
Well, no, I didn't want them there
Oh.
personally, but I mean, I honestly think they're fine where they are. Getting BTFO'd by your own machine slave sucks.
Yeah, but
They
they're
had to be smart enough to create the Geth first.
I
though.
mean, congratulations, you did it against literally the advice of the entire rest of the known galaxy.
alrighty then.
Okay, but come on, the humans did that too.
When?
The moon thing with.
Oh, and you
ED.
mean they fixed it before they got BTFO'd off their planet?
They got lucky, I think.
It was
Shepard had to come in and save them.
Sure, but they were also smarter about it. They didn't have millions of that AI running around their planet performing menial labor.
Well,
Give them 20 years.
so are we going to be putting them in third place, Neil, or not? Because I voting
It's whether
How about
or not you
fourth?
agree with it.
fourth. Then okay, who's third then?
I think
I'm
Tyrions
fine
are fine
with
there.
Tyrions.
All right, who's better, Hanar? All right, we put them in fourth. So
That's good. That's
I
solid.
think that's fine.
All
as
right.
is.
C tier. I'm thinking we keep Drell where they're at.
I want my Vorcha boys up there, personally.
Yeah, I'd switch the Drell and the Vorcha, and I'd call it good.
Do you agree
Wish?
with that statement, Splash?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
Well,
the Drell are pretty trash.
that's fair, but I don't think the Yogg deserve to be above them, just because there wasn't enough.
I
of
agree.
them.
I agree with that
agree.
statement. What about this?
Uh,
And then Leviathans.
I'd argue the
to-
Drell are cooler.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Again, it's just they suffered from lack of time.
All right.
Is what it is.
I say the
Yeah, he's
Volish deserve to be smaller than the Drell. They had 3 games to expand these guys. They never really did, and the Drell, at least from
I
what we
think
saw,
that-
look cooler.
I mean, sure, the Droll look cooler, but I think the Vols are fine there. To be honest.
Hmm.
All right, I'm
I think-
outvoted.
Yep.
All right, last tier.
That's fine where it is.
I argue.
Yeah.
I would argue Batarians are the worst of the worst.
I
They're in
hate
the tier we
Batarians
don't
as
need to
much
argue over what.
I
what
hate
rank they are.
Batarians as much as the next God-fearing individual, but the Ket were so poorly written that I could not justify them being above them.
All right, if you guys say so. All right, everyone,
The
this
cat
is
was
the definitive
terrible.
list. There is no arguing with us. If you do, go step on a Lego. Have a good one.